what'll be interesting to me, and I'm not trying to introduce a conspiracy theory, but was this deliberate? You know, you have to wonder.
Sabotage?
Yeah, if there was sabotage involved.
What better way to head off more oil drilling, nuclear plants, than by blowing up a rig? I'm just noting the timing here.
Welcome back to Hardball. Those are some of the comments from people on the right about the oil spill in the Gulf yesterday on Neil Cavuto's show. Former FEMA director Michael Brown said this.
Only now is the president appearing to be engaged, and I think the delay was this. It's pure politics. You know, they don't say these things without it being coordinated. And so now you're looking at this oil slick approaching, you know, the Louisiana shore. According to certain NOAA and other places, if the winds are right, it'll go up the East Coast. This is exactly what they want, because now he can pander to the environmentalists and say, I'm going to shut it down because it's too dangerous.
Michael Brown, you have a thought here. Why don't you repeat that again live? What do you believe is going on here in the Gulf in terms of the president's behavior, the whole business right down now?
Hey, Chris, I think there's two things. I think, one, we're seeing the Rahm Emanuel rule number 1 taking effect, and that is let no crisis go unused. So this is an opportunity for a president who wants to bankrupt the coal industry and basically get rid of the oil and gas industry to shut down offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. I think the other thing that we're seeing is this, I don't know why it is in this country, but we have a plan from 1994 that says how we're going to deal with these fires and these platforms collapsing. Janet Napolitano did not implement that plan until 7 days after the leaks first started, and then we find out we don't have the equipment. I mean, to me, it's like Katrina all over, because people at the top are not paying attention to what's going on in the ground.
What do you make of BP's role here with regard to the blowout preventer and the fact that that was sort of the final way to deal with a situation as horrific as this? Do you think that they had the right management? Were they following procedure? Where's the blame lie in terms of letting this catastrophe occur in the first instance?
Yeah, I don't think we know yet, Chris, because, you know, I heard the clip from Dana Perino and the others. I think we have to get the robots on the seabed, get that equipment up above sea level, get it onto some docks, and let's see what happened. Right now, I don't know. You either had faulty equipment, you had some problem with BP, and as some people speculate, maybe there was some sabotage.
Well, what do you make of that? What do you make of that speculation? What do you make of that speculation about sabotage?
You know,
why would somebody sabotage something that would cause this kind of damage to our planet, really?
Oh, well, because I think there are terrorists in the world who would like to do that sort of thing. Terrorists don't give a rat's butt about, you know, the ecology or anything else. All they care about is hurting America.
Well, do you think, based upon what we know, there's any indication of terrorism?
No, not yet.
Okay. What do you make of the political charge from the right that that the president or one of his supporters did this in order to discredit offshore drilling? Do you give any credibility to that?
No. No, and in fact, they did not do this. But I think that if you use Rahm Emanuel's rule, they're taking advantage of it.
What do you mean? How do you? Let me ask you. We started off with your quote, Michael, and I just wonder how you know things like this. You say only now is the president appearing to be engaged. What do you know about him not appearing to be? You're suggesting he's not really engaged in leading this effort to deal with this catastrophe. He's faking it. He's saying appearing to be engaged. Do you think he's not engaged in this effort to try to prevent this disaster?
Look, in politics in the White House, it is about appearances.
But you think he's faking it? He's not trying to deal with this horrific situation?
No, Chris. Now I think he is. I think
okay, so you didn't mean appearing to be
disengaged.
Okay, you say
right.
I think the delay was
disengaged, like another president we know.
No, but you say it was pure politics. The timing of his activities here. You say he systematically or deliberately paused to allow this wreckage, this terror, this horrible environmental damage to occur, that he systematically chose for, as you put it, for pure politics, timed his actions to be slower than they should have been? Are you serious?
I think he was very ill-served, Chris.
No, you're saying here, you're saying that I think the delay was this, it's pure politics. Are you saying that he somehow delayed his response to encourage worse disaster here, worse damage to the environment?
No, I don't. No, one, he didn't want people to die. He doesn't want to see oil on the shores. He doesn't want to see any of that. But I do believe, I believe this very sincerely, when he comes out and says he would like to see the coal industry bankrupted, I think they see a crisis like this and they say, how can, because this is Rahm Emanuel's rule number one, how do we take advantage of this situation? And I think it is,
you're leaping, Michael,
hang on, Chris.
You're leaping so far away. You're saying this, that the president delayed his reaction to this disaster so that he could hurt the coal industry. I'm confused.
No, hang on. He said in 2008 that he wants a cap-and-trade bill that is so onerous that carbon-based industries like the coal industry, if they try to do anything new, they'll go bankrupt. The president is very anti-carbon energy. I understand that. I get it. I just disagree with it. I think in this case, he saw an opportunity to say, look how bad oil and gas drilling is. Look at all this harm it's causing.
But he just came out for offshore oil drilling.
Oh, Chris, I'm glad you asked that. He came out and said, look, I'm going to approve oil and gas drilling, and all you guys went, oh, look what a great guy he is. He's trying to reach out to everybody else. Chris, all he did was he approved 2 existing leases on the northeast coast and shut down all of the other proposed leases on the west coast and the southeast coast. There was nothing new in what he announced.
But don't you know that what you're saying to a third party, not somebody like myself or somebody like yourself listening to you, thinks that you're sounding insane? You're saying that the President of the United States went into slow-mo here somehow, or somehow seemed to be working faster than he really was, but was really quite slow to get there because he saw an opportunity to exploit a disaster so that he could reap discredit onto the coal industry. And by the way, a couple of weeks ago, he came out for offshore drilling so that he could discredit it when this thing occurred. Are you suggesting he somehow knew this would happen and that's why he came out for offshore drilling? It sounds like that's what you're saying, and it sounds crazy.
Well,
crazy.
And the way you just put it, Chris, the way you just put it, it sounds crazy to me too.
Okay, well, let me just rephrase your thoughts. You said the president came out for offshore drilling so that he could discredit it, but the only way he could discredit it if we had this oil spill.
No, he came out for offshore drilling in an attempt to appease those on the right who want more
drilling. It's called compromise.
More drilling.
He came out for a compromise.
Which was not a compromise at all. He only approved existing leases that were already in effect. You guys failed to report that what he announced was nothing. Now, he announced that so he can get, health care passed or something else.
No, I think he did it so he could get a climate bill passed as part of an energy bill. That's what I think he was trying to do, and you know that.
Yeah,
we can agree on that.
You're right. The climate bill. But then what happens is this crisis occurs in the Gulf. Janet Napolitano does not even implement the oil spill response plan of 1994 until, I think, like April 27th, 7 days after the disaster. There's no explanation for that whatsoever.
Okay. Well, I think it's dangerous for people like Dana Perino to say there was sabotage by the left here, or dangerous by Rush Limbaugh to say that the president or one of his supporters somehow blew up that oil rig to create havoc and somehow have some sort of bounce out of it. I tell you, Michael, I think your arguments are not strong about the coal industry, because I don't think this relates to coal. I don't think you could have made the case you just made. I think you made a case there that he wants to discredit offshore drilling if he didn't anticipate this catastrophe. And I don't know how you can accuse this president of such powers as knowing that this catastrophe was coming down the line.
Chris, I don't think he anticipated this catastrophe at all. I think they took advantage of it, which is what Rahm's rule is. Take advantage of a crisis.
Okay, sir. Thanks for coming on. Michael Brown, it's great to have you on.